Welcome back. Participation in the Thrift Savings Plan's at a new high of 93.5%. CARES Act withdrawals are down from August too. Kim Weaver is Director of External Affairs at the Federal Retirement Thrift Investment Board. Kim, welcome back. It's great to see you. The participation rate, is that primarily because of auto enrollment and the transition to blended retirement at the Defense Department?
The uniform services is, yes, because they are just trending up. They're now at the 71.8%. The first participation rate is at 93.5%. And both of those, as you mentioned, is auto enrollment and people not opting out, which is exactly what we want them to do or not do.
The trend line sounds good too on hardship withdrawals because of through the CARES Act. That's headed in a good direction too, it sounds like.
Well, so CARES Act loans closed on September 22nd, and roughly 17,000 people took out CARES Act loans totaling about $406 million. CARES Act withdrawals are still available through December, and about, so far, 84,000 people have taken those for a total of $1.9 billion. And we're hypothesizing, no facts, but hypothesizing that hardship withdrawals have declined because people are using or did use the CARES Act loans and withdrawals.
A number of issues at the board meeting this month that I want to ask you about. The first is an enterprise risk management update. I looked through the slides that were shown at the meeting. What's the gist of what participants should know about the risks that you perceive, that the TSP perceives, and how you're going about mitigating them?
So, first of all, I think what participants should know is that we're being very mindful and very thoughtful about this. Every year we do a risk assessment to see if new risks have popped up. We identify the risks that we're going to work on, that we work on the high and the medium highs, obviously don't really, we're mindful of or aware of the lows, but not our highest priority. And then we work on them with a risk treatment plan through the year and reassess at the end of the year to see if the risk treatment plan got us where we wanted to be. And our high risks in 2020 were information security. I don't think a surprise to anybody. Insider threat and disaster recovery, business continuity. I think COVID has given us a real life disaster recovery, and we've done pretty well. But all three of those risks, based on the risk treatment plan that we did, will decline to medium high at the end of the year, assuming we finish out the next couple months where we think we're going to. And then the cycle will start again.
I don't want to scare people. The risks that you and your colleagues at TSP are talking about are not imminent. They're on the radar screen. To prevent them from becoming imminent is the read that I got as I looked at these slides.
Exactly right. It's not that we think our information security is insecure. It's that, as every organization in the world, right, hackers can hack, and we want to be mindful of that. We want to take all due precautions. We want to see what the latest trends are in terms of bad guy actions, and we want to make sure that we are countering those and we're ahead of those.
Some quarterly reports that the board members heard about. If you can just give me a thumbnail of what each one of these means, Kim: investment policy, budget review, and audit status.
So every month we hear from our chief investment officer as how the funds did, how they tracked against the benchmarks. And that's what that report is. And I think it's no surprise that our funds track very closely to the benchmark. That's what we aim to do. That's what we asked our fund manager to do. The budget review was from our chief financial officer telling the board how we did in terms of spending against our FY19 budget. Right? No, FY20, sorry, FY20 budget. And we executed 95% of that budget. And then on the audit reports, or audit status, it's exactly what it sounds like. We track the audit findings we have, the audit closures we've made, and our projected plans for closing future audits.
How simple is that investment policy review? I mean, tracking the indexes that each fund is supposed to track strikes me as a pretty cut and dried effort, but it might not actually be, Kim.
It's not. In the C fund, the S&P, which tracks the S&P 500, our fund manager owns every single one of those stocks. So in that one, not that I could do it, but fund professionals can. They track the C fund pretty easily. For the other ones, the S fund is a good example. There are a lot of small, that's the small cap. There are a lot of small stocks that the fund manager can't or doesn't want to buy because they're so rare, they could be overly expensive. And so they have their own proprietary formula that allows them to pick stocks that will mimic the stocks they don't own. And so that is true of the F fund and the I fund as well. So that takes substantially more work and substantially more expertise to be able to track that index and hit it every month.
I'm in the same boat as you. I couldn't do it if I had to, so that's why we have folks like them that you can hire to get them to do it for you. Kim Weaver, thanks very much as always.
Thanks, Francis.